So I've done a couple episodes with people that have on this channel that have talked about imposter syndrome. So I want to get into that again today, a little bit of a different perspective from the Why We Do What We Do podcast.
Yeah.
So let's just start with what it is, and then maybe we'll give a couple examples for folks that we've maybe potentially experienced in our own time. And then we'll get into just take-homes of why does this matter and what do we do with it if you're perhaps experiencing some sort of thing like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
So essentially, this is the experience that a lot of people have when they reach some level of authority or success, or people, for whatever reason, they have some amount of clout, and maybe is a way of thinking about it. And then they feel like they maybe don't deserve it, or that they don't really qualify for the kinds of responsibility that they have that has been bestowed upon them. And so people will get sort of down on themselves and thinking that they don't really fit the bill of what they're up to, what the task that they have been assigned to, and that the people are putting more faith in them than they really deserve to have put in them.
I think that was super well defined. Have you experienced it before in your own life?
Yes.
Yeah. What was it like?
Well, recently completing my doctorate degree, the immediate reaction to that was, wow, I really pulled one over on everybody. They all think that I'm qualified to have this title, and I'm not.
Dr. Abraham, man, it's here.
It is true. And the thought that they're gonna find out that I don't really deserve this, they're gonna take it away from me, and those are all thoughts that I had in the days and weeks immediately following the degree. And so it's been really slowly sinking in that probably no one's gonna take it away. But it's still that was my experience with that. And I had similar experiences when I got my master's degree as well, of wow, I really I can't believe that
I made it through.
Yeah, I made it through. Well, and how is it that they gave this to me? I didn't really deserse this.
I remember a similar feeling, and I remember specifically after I'd graduated for about a year and a half or 2 years, I'd have this recurring, I use this term loosely, nightmare of that somebody realized that I didn't actually finish a course and it was going to be removed from me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I dedicated 10 years of my life to this field. This is my livelihood. I like this. And I was 3 credits. Can I just make it up? And they're like, no, you've been exposed. And to the point I actually woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to go check my transcripts. And
wow.
I never.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was. I'm talking about just a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Debilitating.
It wasn't debilitating or anything like that for me, but it was something that I paid attention to for a little bit, and I was just like, did I really not finish? Occasionally I'll find myself working on some video productions with people in behavioral and mental health spaces, and they'll look to me for guidance sometimes on what should we do? And I know some general ways to go there, but I'm also sometimes I need to make a decision based off of, past experience and what I think is the best decision now. And I really would like to be able to phone on somebody and I'm like, should I even be making this decision?
Right.
And I'm like, nope, this is now what I do. I make these decisions. And so occasionally I'll feel in that sort of context.
Well, that's actually leads right nicely into what we talk about is essentially there's 2 things in the way that this can show up. Is people who either overwork in terms of they put in way more effort on things than they have to try and prove that they to themselves or anyone else that they deserve their responsibility, or they procrastinate because they feel like they can't fulfill on the promise that's been given to them and sort of why bother because I'm just going to fail. And those are 2 ways that this shows up. And speaking to your experience specifically, the recommendations then are things like be willing to put yourself in a position where you can acknowledge that you're wrong and learn from it. Practice some self-care around acknowledging yourself when you do things well and when you feel like you were able to competently execute on something, because it probably happens a lot more
than you're aware of.
Than you really pay attention to. You make appropriate decisions, you guide someone in a way that's helpful, and that all comes from the experience that you have, and being able to recognize those successes and learn from your failures is a way that is prescribed to help people sort of combat this idea that they feel like imposters in the position that they have.
Cool. Anything else for recommendations, perhaps?
Some people do recommend that you maybe seek a mentor, someone else that you can sort of lean on as a confidant or that you have to talk to. And so having a strong social network or at least some support can help people also just overcome this. And for most people, you're right, it's not necessarily debilitating in a way, but it can have some somewhat deleterious effects on their life, as I said, with the procrastinating or sort of workaholic-like behaviors, when people start to lose touch with doing things that would ultimately be in their benefit.
Cool. If it's something that you've experienced, you want to share, please feel free to. Totally up to you all. And the full episode is linked down below. All right, if you're into this, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to see more of this, the top link in the description is where you can support and gain access to more videos. And if you haven't already, check it over here on YouTube. There's a few different playlists. I think you're going to enjoy them. That's your Daily BA.